that everyone actually has to realize. And I want to tell them that if this happens, then unity will happen. And to do that, we, as him as the world leader, he needs to teach his people about this stuff. And then, the next thing that I would tell him or her, that by that, peace will happen. Because when unity comes, peace will eventually come too. A harmonious life is a thing that is lacking in our world right now. We see wars and fights happening every day, and yet we do nothing about it. And who can move this? Who can change this? They are the world leaders, and that is why I would want to tell him about these things. No name callings, no discriminations, just because of what we are or who we are from. We need to understand the insight of everyone. And then the third, I would like to tell him that you are doing a good job, and please continue. And I would give him a pat in the back, and I would hug him, and I would smile at him warmly, and I would tell him, please pass this generosity, please pass this kindness to everyone in your society, because if this chain always goes on, then the world will really have peace. And before I end my speech, allow me to share a few meaningful words from Mahatma Gandhi. He said that where there is love, there is life. Thank you.
You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. A very good morning once again. Now, if I were given a chance to talk to one world leader, what I would tell him, first of all, who is the world leader I am talking about? Dato Sri Najib, of course. Because which other country would I want to develop other than my own beloved motherland, Malaysia? So, if I did get a chance to talk to such a vibrant Prime Minister, what I would tell him is, first of all, to have more rural development. Second, free Wi-Fi for everyone. And finally, to have many activities to enhance unity. Now, for my first point, have more rural development. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many people in Malaysia who are unable to release their full potential due to the insufficient facilities and development that are done in these areas. And if I were given a chance to talk to our leader, I would tell him about this predicament that all of these poor people are in. And if they are given a chance to be developed and for them to have enough infrastructure, I'm sure the people of Malaysia will be able to be developed even higher. And people will know Malaysia as a country of its own, not just the country beside Singapore. Oh, that's Malaysia. No, ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia should have its own identity. Which brings me to my second point. Free Wi-Fi for everyone. Okay, you might think that I'm making a joke here, but seriously, if you give this opportunity to all of these people to have free Wi-Fi, you don't know the impact that it can have. First of all, the education in schools can be improved vastly. Because of this, the students are given an opportunity to explore the internet, and with this access, they will be able to develop themselves even more. And my last point, unity, ladies and gentlemen, because that is our cup of tea. So by this, I would tell our Prime Minister to have more unity-based programs so that people of Malaysia will have more tolerance for one another and our diversity. Because like I always say, unity in diversity, and people will know our country as a country who is diverse in its culture, in its language, but yet we are united as one. So ladies and gentlemen, vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. But vision with action can change the world. So maybe I might just go and set an appointment with our Prime Minister and tell him my opinion on how we can develop our country even more, which is by number one, having more rural development, number two, free Wi-Fi access for everyone in this country, and finally, having more unity-based programs so we, as Malaysians, can build a better nation. I'm sure everyone understands what I'm saying here, right? With that, I thank you.
People killing, people dying, children hurt, and millions crying. Ladies and gentlemen, If I could sit and talk with a world leader, President Barack Obama, I would tell him to make a change. Ladies and gentlemen, our world is dying. People are dying. People are lost. And it's because of what you are doing. It's because of what our leaders are doing. Do you know that all these problems are caused because you are greedy? Because you don't care. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I want to sit down and tell Barack Obama to make a change. Be different. He is influential, so that's why I go to him. I want him to know the pain that we go through every day. I just want to share my experience with you. I was with my church youth. I went to the Sarawak Kuching Urban Poor program, and we were serving these little kids lunch. And I was so sad to see the way they lived. They only had a hut to live with 5 family members of them. And why? And why are all the rest of people rich? It's because we are not doing anything about it. Mother Nature is fighting back. It's because we killed Mother Nature. I will tell him to be different, to love his people. I will tell him not to do anything to do with power and greed, and to teach him to love. My parents has taught me so much about love. And if I know how to love my friends, I'm pretty sure President Barack Obama will know how to love too. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. That song is so popular because Michael Jackson knew there was something going on out there, and we need to make a change. So that is what I would tell President Obama if I get to sit and talk with him. Thank you.
Okay, once again a very good morning to the honorable judges, teachers, and fellow friends from around the nation. It's very good to see you all again. My goodness. Sorry about that. Now, previously, I had a very good opportunity to sit with 16, including myself, 16 public speakers from around this country and talk to them and listen to all sorts of ideas not related to the topic. That was a great opportunity. But for the question I've been posed, what if I were given an even greater opportunity to sit with a world leader, any world leader, and talk to him? What would I say? Well, first of all, I'd like to start making some small talk with him. Just easygoing conversation before I get down to business. Because when you have a very free, easy conversation with someone, you can learn a lot about their mannerisms, their hobbies, things that you wouldn't usually see on their billboard or on their Wikipedia entry, so to speak. You can learn a lot about someone from a small conversation. Next, I would move on and give him some feedback. I'll tell him what I think of his policies, about the things he's doing. Like, let's take Barack Obama, for example. Yes, I think it's great what you're trying to do to unite the people in America, but maybe I could politely say that, no, I don't agree with legalizing abortion. But I'd say this in a very polite manner, because leaders, they lead people. They want to know feedback. They want to know what their people are thinking. So feedback would be very valuable to them, and that is why I would give it to him, honestly and politely. Now, with all that done, I think it would be very good of me to first say thank you, our leader. You have helped change the world. You are an inspiration to every single one of us out there, especially me. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to talk to you. You inspire me because 10 years from now, I hope to be a world leader, sitting down somewhere, talking to any random student. And that is what I would say if I were faced with a world leader. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great.
Very good morning. I bid the honorable judges, accurate timekeeper, and members of the floor. The topic I was given today is what I would say if I met a world leader. What's a world leader? In this context, a world leader is someone who's been given responsibility over a certain part of our lives. For example, the President of the United States of America, the most powerful, most influential person in the world currently, Barack Obama. A leader. What I would say to a leader, it wouldn't be so much of me talking if I were in the presence of a leader as me listening. Because in my opinion, these leaders are someone who's been through a lot and who have lots of things to share, lots of experiences to tell, lots of things that I could learn from these. Of course, we will discuss issues like poverty, leadership, world peace, human nature, things that are vital in the leadership of mankind. These would be interesting things to learn, don't you think? Wouldn't you want to know what those people who sit in the big chairs think about us, everyday people, you and I? It would be interesting, wouldn't it? We all know that being a leader is not easy. It's true. Leaders try to please everyone they have, but they can't, because the truth is you cannot please everyone. So leaders have to choose who to please and who not to please. And this can, a lot of times, be a very difficult decision. I would ask a leader about the lessons he has learned in life as a leader. We know that no one is perfect, no one knows everything. But in my opinion, such leaders would have a lot to share. They would have been through so much of experiences on a different level, a level that we ourselves as normal people could not comprehend. Wouldn't it be interesting to learn these kind of things? Next, I would also bring up the issue of mankind. What it would do to be a leader that people remembered. Would it take you to do something so extravagant, so unique, that then remember you for the rest of your lives? Or would it just simply be to be a leader that everyone would be proud to have? Think about it. There will always be bad apples in the human race. So as leaders, in my opinion, leaders would have to be able to deal with these people while directly not interfering in the lives of others. So being a leader, ladies and gentlemen, can be tough. I wouldn't try to teach a leader much, but rather I would sit and listen to a leader. With that, I'd like to leave the stage.
Honorable panel adjudicators, teachers, my fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen. My impromptu topic today is what I would say given a chance to speak to a world leader. The opportunity is a golden one, a chance to impart our thoughts and ideas onto someone who can truly make a difference, and certainly one that I would seize. The first thing I would say to any world leader today is to look to the children for answers. We teens, young people, are the future of tomorrow. Looking to children not merely for their opinions and ideas, but also to educate them, give them a clear perspective on life, on what they can do when they're older. The second thing, and what I think is most important in our world today, is, and what I would tell a world leader, is to think of the world as a family. In today's world, it's no longer about my country and I. It's more like the world and us. Secretary General of the United Nations, former Secretary General, Kofi Annan once said, "I look around and I see people suffering. And it is not the lack of wealth. It is because we are unable to share." The first step towards building a unified world is accepting that globalization is far more than just fair trade agreements. It's about being able to share our wealth, share the knowledge that we now have in order for the betterment of mankind. And of course, as cliche as it may sound, the pressure is real. The environment. I would tell a world leader to save home. Some of you might have watched the speech by Suban Suzuki, who spoke in the United Nations around 20 years ago. The small 12-year-old stopped the world for 7 minutes with her desperate plea to save Mother Nature. 20 years later, her cry goes unheeded. And yet, we continue to struggle with the different issues that we face in everyday life. All these 3 points are not something that are unheard of. It's not something that an educated world leader would be able to think of himself. It is merely thoughts that we need to practice in everyday life. My last and final point And the most important thing I would tell a world leader is to remember why he chose to lead in the first place. The reason he took up the leadership. Not for a bigger paycheck, not for more power, or another trip overseas, but to make things a better world, to help people, the people around him, and truly make a difference in life. It is important that leaders stopped and listened to the people around them. And given a chance, I certainly have a lot to say. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable judges, precise timekeepers, ladies and gentlemen, members of this floor. For the second part of my speech, which is the impromptu speaking, I was given the title, If I Could Sit Down and Talk to a World Leader, What Would I Say to Him or Her? Well, the world leader that I chose to speak about today is our own Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib. If I was given a chance to sit and talk to Dato Sri Najib, the first thing that I would tell him, the first thing that I would do is, I would thank him. I would thank him for transforming our nation. Personally, for me, I feel he is one of the best Prime Minister among all our Prime Ministers. He introduced the One Malaysia concept, which is people first, presence now. This One Malaysia concept promotes that Malaysia can live in peace and can live in harmony even though we are diversified. This One Malaysia concept promotes diversity in unity in diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, if I would get a chance to speak to Dato Sri Najib, I would also thank him for being so inspirational. As all of you all know, he promotes change. I still remember this quote I heard when I was watching the news. He said that change will not come unless you go grab it. It's somehow more or less something like that. That's what he said. That quote really changed my perception of him. He wants a better tomorrow for Malaysia. He's all out to make Malaysia well known and to promote Malaysia to other people, and he as a leader is such a blessing, ladies and gentlemen. If I get to sit and talk to Najib Muhammad, Dato Sri Najib, I will also tell him that he's such a blessing. He not only inspires, but he also gets the work done. For instance, he brought change. He transformed the nation. He reaches out to people. There's this picture in the newspaper where I saw he went and saw this H1N1 patient. H1N1 is contagious, but he did not care. He went into the room, in the hospital room, and he saw the patient. He consoled her, and so on. He reaches out to people. That's what we need. We need people who reaches out to one another, who cares. And Dato Sri Najib Muhammad is one Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, is one Prime Minister who not only promotes change, but he also reaches out to us. He cares for us. Oh, one more thing, he's pretty good looking too, I can say it. And ladies and gentlemen, even when he was the Deputy Prime Minister, I personally had a liking for him, for his English accent, I tell you. And one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, he had his education in the University of Nottingham, United Kingdom. That it is one of my dreams to study in the University of Nottingham. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I end my impromptu speech, I would like, I would really pray and hope that I really get a chance to meet Dato Sri Najib Muhammad, to tell him what an amazing blessing he is to Malaysia. Thank you.
Alongside to Malaysia, to the honorable judges, respected teachers, accurate timekeeper, and my fellow competitors. The question that I was given today was, what I would say if I were to sit and talk with a world leader. The world leader that I have chosen is Tun Mahathir Mohamad. If I were to sit down with him and to have the greatest opportunity to talk with him, what I would say is, Dr. Tun Mahathir Mohamad, what an amazing job you have done for Malaysia. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is known as Bapa Pembangunan in Malay because of his contribution to the nation's economy. Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has given a new life for Malaysia. He allowed Malaysia to be recognized worldwide. The best example that I can give you is the Petronas Twin Towers. Look at it, 88 levels, one of the tallest in the world. Its magnificence mirrors Tun Mahathir Mohamad's capability. Without his determination and his will to succeed, Malaysia would not be what it is today. So, from the bottom of my heart, if I were to be in the same room with this magnificent person, a simple thank you is what I would tell him. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a thank you. And if I was given a chance to talk to him, I would also tell him that he has taught me a lot in life. It is because of Dr. Mahathir that many of the youngsters in our lives have had the will, have had the strength to do what they have to do. You see, they look up to him as a role model. So he has not only helped Malaysia, but also the youngsters to learn to be brave and to always say what's in your heart. Thank you.
Are people who are selected to guide us to success. That's why having a privilege talking to one will be the best thing that could ever happen to me. So ladies and gentlemen, a very blessed morning I meet you honorable adjudicators, accurate timekeeper, and last but not least, respected members of the floor. My topic for today is that if I could sit and talk to a world leader, what would I tell him or her? So first, let me answer the first question. Who is it, the world leader? Yes, my world leader that I really respect is Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. Yes, it's kind of cliche, ladies and gentlemen, but listen it from my point of view, from my perspective. The thing that I want to tell him is that I've never seen a genius like him before. Why is he a genius? Ladies and gentlemen, during his era, Malaysia was almost at the top of the world. Malaysia was, everyone recognized Malaysia. There was a person who came to Dr. Mahathir and said, Dato, we want you to do this and this. It would bring Malaysia to the future, which is creating something, a dream. Dr. Mahathir said, if you want to talk something that could bring Malaysia 2 years in the future, don't come see me. I want to put Malaysia 20 years in the future. So what did he do? He created KLCC. He created KLCC. What happened? When I went to New Zealand and I told the people that I'm from Malaysia, oh, Malaysia, where you have KLCC, people know Malaysia, right, ladies and gentlemen. People recognize Malaysia. So he put Malaysia in the map of the world. Not only that, during a recession, economic recession, the country economics were really awful. So a genius called Dr. Mahathir did something. He pegged the ringgit to dollar. People say he was a fool to do that. But in the end of the day, he saved Malaysia economics itself. So he doesn't really care what people say about him, because he knows that what he's doing is right. So again, if I were to tell Dr. Mahathir something, I would tell him that he is a genius and we could not have another leader like him. He is a diamond hero.
In the world, make it a better place. And that's what I'm here to do today in front of you, honorable judges, teachers, and fellow friends. Good afternoon to you all in Salam Satu, Malaysia. If I were to meet the world leader and tell him something, this is what I would say. The world is doing fine. It's perfect. Buildings, skyscrapers are reaching up to the sky. Children are living fat and happy, little babies. But in some places, and then in other places, mothers are dying, and children are starving, and fathers are being sent out to war. Man is fighting against man, and for what? Land. Is blood really more important than soil? And why is this happening? Why are some people so happy, so successful, so living in so much comfort, and other people are starving? Why is that, I ask you? The reason is people, even though so much time has passed, people are still being discriminated. We are being discriminated. See, I may not be the best but I may try my best. That's what I'm here to do, to change the world. Even in Malaysia, after so many years, we are still being discriminated. Maybe we're not looking down on other people. But when we see someone, what is the first thing you look at? You look at their skin color. We are being discriminated for our skin tone, for our race, our religion, even our age, even our title. For example, today, and I hope that nobody is offended, I'm just bringing out an example. During lunch, last night's dinner, this morning's breakfast, teachers are put aside in one table, students are put aside in another. If you are taught to clothe yourself in a box, title yourself, label who you are, then you carry that label from a young age until you grow up. You put yourself with one group, while another person puts himself in another group. And in the end, some people are so high up, and the love can't spread down to the people who are down there. I want to change lives, and not just in Malaysia, but in the entire country. One way to heal the world is by acceptance, understanding, and breaking the racial boundary. Another way we can help the world and heal the world, I would say to a world leader, any world leader, is by helping, of course, Mother Nature, the environment. One way is through public transport. See, a short example before I finish my speech. Buses. In European and countries like Japan, in European countries and other countries like Japan, people take buses. It's not because of a low income, it's just the way of life. We need to change our mindset. When you take a bus, there are less transportation on the road. When there are less cars on the road, you spend more time at work or resting. Therefore, you raise your productivity and we all gain. Isn't that nice? So remember, everybody, take public transport. Okay? That is my final speech. Thank you.
We all want to meet so many famous people. We've all wanted to meet our own favorite idols, celebrities, sportsmen. But how many of us have really wanted to meet someone who has made a real difference in the world? Someone like a great leader. Greetings once again, everyone. Like my fellow competitors, I too shall speak on the topic, if I could meet a great leader and talk to her, him or her, what I would tell her, first things first, I would just say, it is an absolute honor to finally meet you. You inspire me so much. Can I please have an autograph? That will be the first thing that I would just say to a world leader if I ever met him or her. Then, of course, I would like to compliment him or her on the policies that he or she has introduced for their nations. Because let's look at history. So many leaders have implemented so many great policies through the course of time. Our own Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, put the One Malaysia concept into effect. Of course, Kevin Rudd in Australia with his great environmental reforms. So many things have been implemented by great leaders for the betterment for the world. Then, of course, a great leader is obviously successful, right? So, I would like to ask them, how did they get to where they are today? How did they get to that position of power that they enjoy? And I would love to listen to their advice because world leaders have very interesting and sharp-minded perspectives of views on the world and life. So we can learn a lot from them because it's all knowledge and we have a lot to gain from it. Then, I would actually say because they're successful and they have been through life, they're very experienced, I would like to tell them my own faults. I would admit my own faults and weaknesses to them and ask them that as successful idols and successful people, how did they become the real person that everyone, that an entire nation would look up to for inspiration? And one thing I really would like to know is, public speakers tend to use a lot of quotes in speeches, right? So, what I'd like to know is, before I leave, can you leave me with any parting words of wisdom? You know, like how Theodore Roosevelt said, do what you can with what you have where you are. Barack Obama's, if you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. So many words of wisdom that can really inspire and cause one to change and alter the person's perspective of life. So finally, before I go, I would just like to leave the person with just one little bit of parting words. And that would be, when would you like to come over to my house? I'll go and get ready right now and prepare a nice room for you and all that. Come, let's go have a nice lunch, shall we? Because I'm feeling hungry right now. So let's go and I'd just like to go and excuse myself and get to bed. Thank you very much.
How does it feel to fulfill Martin Luther Jr.'s dream? How does it feel to achieve the impossible, to kill Osama bin Laden, one of the biggest threats in the world? And how does it feel to be a world leader? If I could sit and talk to a world leader, Barack Obama, I would tell him or her. I would tell him, sorry. I would tell him. How does it feel to be, the first black president? Because Martin Luther King, back away a long time ago, they suffered so much. They would sit in a white person chair, his followers, and then go to jail. And then they would do something like nothing wrong. And then the whites would throw them rubbish, fire, bomb, everything. So, to me, if I was the first black president, I can't bear all those pressures that people have put to me. And of course, America, we're talking about one of the world's most powerful countries in the world, in economy, in power, in military. So how can he, have all that pressure and be responsible for every single word that he says? And how can he be quite almost perfect? How can he have inspirational speeches to all the audiences of America? Because we're talking about a country that can be a world leader. And then I would ask him a very important question, a question that would determine if I like him or not. What will he do with the world? What is his aim? Does he aim to be the biggest, the strongest man, the most popular guy ever had in the world? Or does he aim to be a humble person, to be honest, never, ever, ever stop working just for the world? Because I respect him. I respect Barack Obama. Because he has done so much so far. Put the black people from here, from the lower part to the high part up there. And one thing for sure, after Barack Obama became president, there's an experiment on the kids. They'll say, who would be the leader? Who looks like this to you? They pick the black. From they pick the white people, they pick the black. How does it happen? How does he do this?